live from Hypers Club, Fright Plus News. Reporting live from Hypers Club, Fright Plus News, I'm Janamba. As reported on Monday, social media is currently reacting to a now mysterious death of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells. That he would go missing on a remote island on July 4th, in which his body would be found 2 days later on the island shore. At the center of the conversation, many have expressed that race looks to have played a part in the teen's death, given that it appears that Wells was the only black friend amongst a group of white friends whom he traveled to the island by boat with.
Black people, stop going on motherfucking vacation with these white folks. Your white friends call you, say, hey, bud, what's up? Hey, you ain't going on vacation? No. Hell no. Because y'all keep going on them vacations, and they keep coming back home, and we can't find you. You got to tell them white people no right now. Not all of them, but some of them you got to tell them no. I can't swim why I'm going out there in the ocean for. Can't swim why I'm going out there in the ocean for.
According to reports, the group of friends, along with Nolan, would travel to Horn Island, which is the island that sits about 10 miles from mainland Mississippi, to celebrate the 4th of July. Now, while there, the teens, along with others, would enjoy the beach's shore and water. At some point during their time there, an altercation has now been said to have taken place, just before Wells would go missing around 4 p.m. Now, what has raised many people's concerns are why did Nolan's friends leave without him, and what are the details of the altercation. One user on Facebook who shared that she was actually docked next to the boat Nolan was on would go on to note that the altercation took place amongst the friends, and at some point even on the boat they were on. Now, as mentioned, for many, race can't be overlooked, as some would express their lack of trust when it comes with being the only black person in certain settings, and they feel that Wells' disappearance is another example. Now, as people continue to question Nolan's white friends, whom he went to the island with, his black friends and best friend are now responding, explaining why they weren't with him at the time. On Monday, his best friend, Javon Williams, would join several of their peers at the boat dock where officials looked to have brought back Wells' body. There, Williams would speak to local outlet Sun Herald to give his reaction to the breaking news. According to Williams, he was supposed to be on the same boat with Wells, but it had got filled up and he rode on a different boat. Williams would go on to confirm that he did see Nolan on the island. As soon as we got out there, he told me that he loved me. Williams would also go on to say that he last saw Wells close to 4 p.m. And according to him, along with others, reports seeing Nolan with a girl while amongst their friends. Williams would also go on to share that he would end up leaving his phone with Wells' phone on the same boat in question, but would later retrieve his phone before going home. Now, outside of Williams' response, another friend by the name of Trace Carter would apparently give Nolan a warning to be safe before going to the island. According to Sun Herald, Carter would tell Wells, just hit me up when you get back. Just be careful, bro. Watch out for yourself.
Shit. Nobody knows what happened to Nolan. Nobody remembers what happened. He went into the woods with a girl and we don't know what happened. So why did y'all leave him? Because I needed to be known that the one fact that we got for sure is they didn't report that baby missing until they got back home. They didn't call when they were getting ready to pack up the boat and come back home and realize, hey, we can't find Nolan. We'll be looking for him for an hour. Come help us find him. They didn't report it until they got back home.
So the same thing that happened to Nolan Wells almost happened to me. I think I was like 22 years old working at Texas Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Young, silly. Forgot a couple of the things that my granddaddy told me when I was growing up. I thought these people were my friends. Another lesson my grandparents taught me when I was younger is that you don't have any friends. You know what I mean? You really do not. Like, my siblings were always my friends, and I learned that. At any rate, I signed up to go on this, little trip with these people. They let us know, okay, so we're going to get up on the bank right here, and then we're going to go see the waterfall. So I'm like, oh, okay, but what we going to do at the waterfall? You know what I mean? Because I'm vibing, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. And they was like, we're just going to look at the, sit there, light a fire, smoke some more, drink some more. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get to the little spot where we pull up the canoes, we anchor them off and whatnot. And then they tell us, okay, so this little piece of water right here, we got to swim across that to get to the waterfall. So I get halfway through the water and I realize that, and I'm losing my strength slowly but surely. And at this point in time, I am calling out for help. No music is playing at this time. You know what I mean? None. Yeah, everybody was rambunctious, excited, whatever, but you could clearly hear me out there in the woods. It's still daylight. So I am screaming that I can't make it. Somebody please help me. They turn around, several of them look at me, say, you can do it, come on, let's go. And they continue to walk off. At this point in time, I have already said my prayers and have already decided that I'm going to meet my maker. I scream one more time, I am going to drown, and I went down. I don't know can't remember who was and what made them decide to change their mind and come back, but one person jumped in that water, grabbed me, pulled me up onto the bank, and mind you, they didn't do anything else after that and continued on their way. As young black children, the same lesson that I'm sure you're telling all your children now, do not be the only one. And it really doesn't matter how people feel about that, because the concern is preservation of life. So for some reason, God saw fit to not allow me to lose my life that day. And for some reason, God called Nolan home. So I will say that despite what anybody feels about how you feel about the situation, please have that conversation with your children. And that's all I'm going to say. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells, and to his entire family.
Black people, stop going on motherfucking vacation with these white folks. Your white friends call you, say, hey, bud, what's up? Hey, you ain't going on vacation? No. Hell no. Because y'all keep going on them vacations, and they keep coming back home, and we can't find you.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honor to our apostles, our elder bishops, a great millstone and Ruel. Peace and salutation to the hope of elect, pushing the true doctrine across the four winds of the earth in all truth and sincerity. I'm Lamar Ariyah from the Mississippi Camp. Lord willing, this be edifying lesson, quick and to the point, through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is going into this guy, Nolan Wells, that has been deleted, okay, called to the spirit world because he didn't acknowledge that Esau was his enemy. These Edomites are and were his enemy. But for some reason, a lot of Jakes just have to be around Esau for some reason. I don't know what the fuck the attraction is to have to be around these Edomites like that, and on certain levels, certain settings, to be around Esau is better to be around Jake, because Jake are some wild beasts, man. Jake show out unruly, just do a lot of wickedness and crazy shit, but Esau Edom is a psychopath, man, and they children are too, and they hate Jake. They love to have Jake around, but they hate Jake. And when you get one Jake amongst a bunch of Edomites, that wickedness really start oozing out of them Edomites, man, because they up in numbers on you, and they start showing their horns. I've seen these devils before, man. I've been around these devils before, especially when I lived in Florida, working with some of these devils and being around them at, certain bars or certain functions and shit. They get real cocky when they outnumber you, and then the alcohol is flowing, whatever the case may be, and they'll get real bold, man. And see, this Jake right here seemed like he probably was popular, man. Seen a couple of images, not videos, but pictures. He, taking pictures of some Edomite chicks. Hey, Esau do not like Jake smashing they women, man. And who knows what really triggered Esau to want to do away with Jake. But Jake has this. Some Jakes have this infatuation with Esau Edom, man. I don't know if it make him feel like they are of a different class, or they are better because they're around these devils, or what I don't know. But what I do know is this devil, the Edomites, are Jake's enemy. And it's been, goddamn, Jake. Yeah, they'll say, well, times have changed. Times have changed, Yeah, times have changed. But Esau haven't changed. Not for the better. He's gotten worse. Okay? Salaki had an interruption. But, Jake just have to learn the hard way sometimes. At the end of the day, there was a judgment of the Lord, man. And this is gonna cause some friction. It's gonna cause some anger, and possibly, who knows, people might start doing some crazy shit behind it. Cause we know, it's gonna start being, race wars, right? So who knows, man? Lord willing, this will explode, and things will get, real crazy. Just to, forward prophecy more. But I'm gonna get a couple scriptures here, and I'm gonna close it out. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 41. Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. So this hatred, this jealousy, this grudge has been happening for a long time. Okay? He said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are near, then I will kill my brother Jacob. So Esau has hated Jacob since the beginning. You can even take it back as far as Cain and Abel. Cain was the first murderer who murdered his own brother. So the hatred has been since the beginning. But Jacob, these Jakes, they don't know who their enemy is. And the prophets have been out there telling Israel who their enemy is according to the Bible, which is Esau Edom, the nation of Esau. Okay? The Edomites, so-called white race of the day, the bloodline of Esau. Okay? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, in the Apocrypha, chapter 12, starting at verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. And how can you discern who your enemy is if you don't listen to the prophets? Hell, if you didn't listen to your people coming back up in the day, if you don't look at the history, you think you can trust a nation of people who put your people in captivity on numerous or multiple occasions, but definitely during the transatlantic slave trade? Look what happened during Jim Crow. Look what happened in Natchez, Mississippi. Look what happened in Rosewood. Look what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. These are the same devils who rolled on Jake, murdering Jake, killing Jake, because they are our enemies, man. The Bible primary, what's the word I'm looking for? The primary people in the Lord's movie, by way of the scriptures, is Jacob and Esau. Okay? And Esau is Jacob's enemy. Jacob is Esau's enemy. And they both come out the same womb. But Esau is a cunning hunter, and Jake is a plain man, according to the scriptures, right? But Jacob put himself in a position to be Esau's, you know, it's the word I'm looking for. I keep losing track of words. Salaki. Pray. You know, Esau prays on Jake, waiting for that moment to destroy Jake, man. And this Jake, young Jake, Nolan Wells, had to find out the hard way, amongst many others, man. In my hometown, there's been a couple of Jakes that done been deleted, hanging around with a bunch of Edomites around water, man. You know, you can't trust these devils. Look at these devils in this damn picture. All of them probably pissed off because every girl they like probably got the googly eyes and wanted Jake, man. Probably smashed a few of them. And they can't stand that shit. Niggas play basketball better than them, football better than them. You know? Swag, because he got the salt. And they envy that, man. You know, just putting it out there, just saying, you know. So back in verse 10, never trust thy enemy, for like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself. Come on, man. Let's go out. Let's go have this on this vacation, man. We hit the island, bro. We gonna get fucked up, dude. You know, just gonna have a good time, man. Yeah. Make it sound all nice, man. Like he really accepting and wants your company, right? Whole time in the back of his mind, he pissed at you. He want to do something to you. He just got to get you in an isolated place. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Beware of him. Okay? Take notice of certain behaviors. You know, watch how he move. Look things he say here and there. His behavior. How he act when he's with a group of Edomites with you, and how he act with when it's just you and him. You know, you gotta take heed and beware of that shit, man. Caution. Keep your head on the swivel. Pay attention. Listen. You know? Because he's gonna show who he truly is. But you have to acknowledge that and know how to move. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away, because he's the devil. This devil don't change. He gets more cunning. Okay, he'll humble himself, make it appear that he's cool, but nevertheless he's your enemy. You know, you go Ezekiel, it talk about that perpetual hatred that Esau has towards Jake. Ongoing hatred, continually hating. We just read in Genesis, right, that this devil said what Esau said when his days of mourning for his father at hand, and he would slay his brother Jacob. Okay, he would kill Jacob. So there's a perpetual hatred, an ongoing hatred that this devil had since the beginning, man. Cain and Abel, right? More proof of Jacob and Esau. And then the transatlantic slave trade just tops it off. Jim Crow. Hell, even today. See what Trump talking about. Nigga finna start, you know, coming up against people talking about their ancestors, about stealing the land, knowing they stole the land, but you can't, they don't want you saying that shit. Pretty much don't want to be exposed anymore. And they're just gonna make it, you know, a crime damn near if you exposing them. But this is the devil, man. Again, never trust thy enemy. Like iron rusted, so is his wickedness, man. And Jake failed because he trusted his enemy. And now Jake in the spirit world, man. You know? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Okay, that's what the Lord said, man. And this man, this young man, has been destroyed because of his lack of knowledge. And that lack of knowledge was being able to discern who his enemies were. So that's about it, man. Lord willing, it's an edifying lesson. I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to our apostles, our elder bishops, great millstone, and Ruel. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.